Saturday Showdown. 젠지 스포츠 대 T1.
Right in the moment, and they waited and then made the decision anyways. It just did not work out. I don't want to beat a dead horse anymore, though.
Well, the horse is not dead because we are here into the draft for game number 2. The horse has a chance to neigh again.
True.
And we have the Varus, the Rumble, and the Bard already banned away, as the Karma is going to follow suit. Orianna likely to get banned as well.
What if Duro plays Rel?
Oh. Then the horse is really back. But you're not really on the horse when you're Rel. You are the horse, or your pants are the horse, or something. Rel's a little bit confusing there. But what are we going to be banning away here? I feel like BNK have a little flexibility. Unless they just want to get rid of... No, they're not going to. It's going to be the Ezreal instead, so Orianna now going to be the ban from Gen G, and we'll see what the first pick will be.
Gonna be Orianna, you have to think here. But it looks like they have something else. They're either discussing what they want to pick next, or... Okay, they do ban the Orianna, which is what we expected.
Yep.
With no Bard here, no Karma. Well, I was going to say Lulu stocks are way up. They still are. But now for Gen G, they're like really up because you don't want to give over the Nocturne Lulu combo. So I think they'll probably grab the Yunara lane here, is what I would expect.
Yeah, or you just grab Lulu jungler. You could just grab Lulu Xin Zhao and feel very good about what's going to be represented. Instead, the Nico pick away, I mean...
Are you really scared of Nocturne Nico that much?
Yeah, I think like Nocturne Nico is strong, and I was going to say that it's like a decent answer to it. But I just don't think Nico is very good at the moment.
Nico Jhin?
Nico mid lane. They're going to lock Nico Lulu.
I think you do get the Xin here, like you were alluding to early, but you don't even have to. Like, you can kind of do whatever you want, since they already have the Nocturne. Like, you don't need to lock the jungler. You can lock it on 3. But
give me Nico Lulu. I want to see Chovy just play Nico. That's what I want. Instead, it's just going to be, let's knock him up all the time, and the Wukong is going to come in.
This feels like such an easy Yunara Lulu lane here for Taeyun and Kellen.
Yeah.
And
whichever Lulu lane you like.
Wukong is great into Yunara. It's one of the best picks at getting on top of her, but when the Lulu is there, and also Nocturne can deny a lot of combos, it is kind of tough, honestly. Let's see what Ruler is playing, because his pick has to be locked in here if he's got a prio one. I mean, okay, they're just going to keep it a secret, as Chovy will try to prio here this Rise. I expect they will ban the Aurora as well, because Aurora Nocturne is also incredibly strong.
Yep, no Cassiopeia available as well, so Aurora and Anivia could be the bans to protect this Rise.
It's such a not Gen G choice, in my opinion, to pick the Nico, because Nico Nocturne is so scary.
I just don't even think it's that scary. I feel like Nocturne Lulu has been a lot more successful.
I agree, but if they had given over Nocturne Nico into the Yunara Lulu as a response, like if Yunara Lulu goes over to Gen G, then maybe Gen G really struggled to play Yunara Lulu into all of that burst, but I just find this to be a weirdly timid choice by Gen G. But yeah, either way, I don't want to triple down on it further. We'll see what they end up getting here for Ruler. They might have something cool prepared. They will protect this Rise pick for now, though, with the Anivia ban.
Yep, I expect maybe even a Corki ban could be a good idea, and there it is.
That's the other big one.
Yeah, the good lanes with Nico are kind of few and far between. Ezreal's not on that list, even though it is banned away, but Corki was the original to be paired alongside the Nico.
The other one that we've seen in the past is Kai'Sa Nico, but I don't like that really here either, and the Misfortune feels very tricky to try to pull off, so it almost feels like we're heading down a Jhin path here if Keane could get the front line that they need for that. But it's Jhin or Caitlyn, awkward, isn't it?
That's probably what it's going to be, and I don't like either of them.
Caitlyn can definitely work, but the mid game is going to be real tough.
Yeah.
Before the Rise starts to do real damage, you're going to be at an angle where the Yunara is actually strong on 2 items, but you're not. Caitlyn's banned anyways, so we won't have to discuss it any further.
Yeah, the MF is a decent option, and then hold counter pick for Keane.
Almost feels
like a bad idea.
They've got something, like, is he playing Kog'Maw or something that we don't fully understand? Is something weird going to come out here?
If they play Kog'Maw Nico, oh man, I'm going to be very sad.
I just don't know. I don't know what the game plan is here, but it is just ultimately to go Jhin like we kind of thought a long time ago. And it wasn't banned, even though it was obvious, I think, because BNK aren't really worried about that pick in this draft.
And it might be able to do a decent amount of work in the lane, but I just don't think you'll ever be able to scale alongside a Yunara into the later stages. And Taeyun has actually found a fair bit of success
Oh my god.
on the champion.
And they get the Annie too. Like they could go Aurora as well. Both are really strong here. If you go Annie, I think you could just go Cassante for clear and feel really good about your entire draft. Like there's just, it's going to be so difficult to kill the Cassante in the early team fights before Chovy gets online. Who does Nico engage here? It's so tough.
I feel like Cassante is such a masterstroke if they do decide to go with it.
It's kind of boring, but I feel like it's exactly what this draft needs.
Yep, just play the front to back and do your best to win. Instead, Blind Nah is going to mean that Keane is going to play Vayne, and we're going to see how well he's going to do.
Yeah, that does feel like is exactly what's going to happen now instead of what we thought was going to happen. Or
Smolder!
Smolder Top?
Smolder Top is fun.
Smolder Top has been
Jin
played
top?
in other regions. I've heard rumors of it.
Smolder mid, Rise Top?
Rise Top is a Keane thing.
Oh god, instead it's just going to be the Vayne like we were talking about.
I think this Gnar pick just added so much unnecessary volatility to this game.
Yeah, just play Cassante. I mean, you're probably going to get Vaned if you play Cassante as well, but we've seen Cassante win that matchup.
Yeah, this is an unplayable matchup for the Gnar, and Vayne is stronger now than she used to be because she's got Doran's bow.
Yeah.
They didn't upgrade Doran's shield for the Gnar.
Yeah, did we actually see Cassante win that matchup? I remember it was horrible, but they didn't lose the game, I think is what happened. The matchup itself is
Look, I just think
a little tough.
I think the matchup is definitely better than this one.
Huh. Well, Keane gets a redo on the Vayne. Obviously, didn't look fantastic against G2 earlier in the year.
He didn't look great against Hanolife Esports and Zeus earlier last year either.
Yeah.
I don't know, Atlas. I think the Vayne will be fine. I think the Vayne I'm not worried about.
Well, we don't have anything to go off because technically hasn't played it so far this season. But FearX fans hoping that we can get to a game number 3 and to keep that dream alive of finally having a 6-game day. We just keep getting denied. We're never allowed to have a full level of fun here in the LCK for 2026. Maybe that would be too much fun. Maybe it would be dangerous if we were to have that much League of Legends. But the pros kept giving it to us in the LCK Cup last year. They're not here today, but maybe FearX and Gen G could do it. Let's get into the Rift game 2.
미니언들이 생성되었습니다.
All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, on the Rift for the second game of this series. And the redemption of Keane's Vayne, ladies and gentlemen. That is what we're looking for here. No Broken Blade across the other side of the Rift this time.
He also won't be building Redemption this game.
Yeah, I hope not.
And you remember, it wasn't that long ago when Redemption was like so strong that it was built by everyone all the time.
I didn't see
I don't miss it
on top Vayne as much. However, I don't think she was in the meta at that time.
No, well, kind of, but not really.
What was her name again? So it was Sarah Misfortune.
Oh, it was
and
like
then
Shayna or something like that.
Shauna?
Shauna, maybe.
Yeah, there we go. All right, well, Shauna is looking for some last
Could have been Shania. I don't know.
Shania Twain?
I don't think it was Shania Twain. I think that's a different person entirely. I think that's a real person.
Men's shirt, short skirt.
You told me yesterday. You were the one who knew that Miss Fortune's name is Sarah.
I did know that. That's the only one that I knew.
That didn't seem real to me. When you told me that, I was like, all right, this is a pretty meta joke from Atlas here. Because you were like so confident. You were like, yeah, it's Sarah, by the way. I was like, okay.
No, I was like, I'm pretty sure that's Misfortune.
Yeah, and then, yeah, exactly. And I was like, well, there's no way Miss Fortune's real name is Sarah. Her real name is Miss. I mean, it says it right there.
Yeah, it's actually a really good point. I can't believe that I would ever have thought that it could have been Sarah, even if it was correct, because it is written down. Oh, man. And does that mean Yunara's name's Yu?
No.
And her last name's Nara?
We just don't know her last name. Her first name is Yunara.
Ah, got it. All right, well, the Yunara is just going to be going in here. Deadly Flourish is going to connect there from Ruler to try and keep him at bay.
The heals are traded. Yunara having a good time in this early lane. Doran's Bow also a great item for Yunara in terms of setting up your Q trades in a matchup like this where you have the Pix power with Lulu early to just basically, as long as you don't get hit by any Nico shenanigans, continue to trade and win. Because the Jhin does not shoot fast, as we know.
Yeah.
Bear is doing okay up here.
Yeah, actually managing to get on top of Keane here for a moment. Obviously, it's when you try and walk away that Vayne gets most of her work done. But Clear is doing all right. Just got to hope that you don't get hit by too many of the silver bolts, especially when you want to be mainly relying on a health bar rather than anything else. As Raptor will be able to take down this bottom scuttle. Canyon doing the same thing towards the top side. And will be able to then go for a cheeky little back angle. The Nocturne actually winning out as far as the race is concerned to clearing everything on the map. And so Canyon going to be a little bit later. Might look for something here, but instead Keane going to be going back home. Does get a little bit of a crash, although these two caster minions might prove a little bit frustrating.
It is very much a early game junglers can't do much matchup here, and we've seen this before. The Nocturne versus Wukong. Wukong is great into Yunara, but also you don't really get any punishment from the early game where you don't have level 6, where Wukong really becomes a true threat. And it's the same with Nocturne, as he doesn't become as much of a his combat threat power isn't as high as Wukong's, but obviously has a lot of range.
Oh, just missed out on the cannon there for Keane. A little bit unfortunate.
Unlucky.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest. Like, obviously, doesn't have teleport, so it makes things a little more awkward. But now has an item advantage as he tumbles away from Clear. Can utilize the passive to try and walk him down.
Cool move there to grab the boomerang, just to have that added safety.
Wait a second. Now the lane is just doomed for Clear.
Yeah, he will have to TP awkwardly back up and try to fix it.
Oh, Canyon really wanted that Raptor, and Raptor said no for him having the Raptor, and so Raptor took the Raptor.
Yes.
So that he could Raptor while he Raptored.
Yeah, Exhibit was on it.
Mm-hmm. All right.
No one knows who that is anymore.
I was going to say, like, 2 Boomer references in one game so far. Crazy.
I wish Exhibit would come and fix my room right now. I have no time to set everything up.
He doesn't fix anything, okay? He will pimp your room.
Yes.
It's not the same as fixing.
I need that to happen.
Even if repairs do happen, it's not called fixing.
He's going to put like a Wii emulator in my Wii U or something like that. I heard you like retro games.
No, he's going to put like a Mega Drive into your Dreamcast.
Yeah,
Because at least that didn't have one.
That's true.
Something like that.
Yeah, because the Wii U did have a built-in official Wii emulator inside of it. Yeah, it did actually have that. I think Nintendo was called up by Exhibit. And that's why they made it that way.
That might have been what they did, because like ever since then they were very backwards compatible. And maybe like Exhibit is heading up their backwards compatibility team.
Yeah. But they needed to call him to get the GameCube working on it.
Yeah.
That was not officially supported.
Look at what the like complete eruption of pings as Raptor's like, where did my jungle go?
Yeah, he's not happy about it. Vikla and Raptor here waiting for their very powerful combos to start flying once Raptor hits level 6, which is very close. I gotta say, like, the 15 CS advantage for Vayne and Dinar, Clear's feeling pretty good. You know, the lane state was pretty horrible for him as well, and it's still not great, and that's where a lot of the CS deficit is coming from, but he's actually kind of getting out of lane hell here pretty soon. And with a Nocturne on the map, Keane is not necessarily going to be able to keep applying the pressure that he wants to, because he's obviously going to be at risk of getting paranoid and dying. He has the exhaust that you take in this matchup, and it's great into Nocturne as well, so that'll give him some extra safety. But see how much pressure he can continue to apply here, as the bottom lane's pretty self-sufficient.
Yeah, bottom lane is looking fine. The problem is, fine isn't quite good enough for Gen G, as you do kind of want to be keeping this Yunara down as best you can. And right now, Tane seems to be able to do whatever the heck he wants. That's a great condemn, as the flash and ulti have to be used already here for Keane, as he does get a little bit scared, but I think he will be okay, as a couple of turret shots will be taken here for Raptor, but getting every summoner and the ult out of the Vayne is going to feel fantastic here for Clear.
That's exactly the kind of timing I was talking about. He gets 6, and he's like, this Vayne is not allowed to keep pushing my weak side. I'm the weak side police. I'm coming up to say no. Unfortunately, they did not get the kill, but they got everything else. And now Clear is feeling a lot more comfortable, as Chovy's looking for a cheeky play here.
Wait a second. There's the Rune Prison. Chovy is obviously going to get stunned because Vikla has a targeted ability. As Raptor moves on in.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to fight this because you are fighting into a Wukong with flash and ult.
But it's Raptors, man. Not going to happen. So they will give that one up. The Ocean Drake is up and available here. Looks like it might be an avenue that Canyon is going to take in this moment. Because right now, Gen G with a fair bit of control in this bottom.
Look at Clear. He's getting plates.
Oh, man.
He's got Mega.
He's got the gold lead.
He's chilling.
Well, he is now doing his very best to clear out this wave. Keane obviously has a fair bit of damage and chase potential, as he is not going to chase into the fog of war. Canyon going to be taking this dragon here, though, as Chovy looking to move towards the top side and eat some honey fruit. I don't think he's going to be killing Clear.
I think this is looking like, if Gen D 2-0 here, it's going to be the Giga Chovy Palm angle. Because he, I think, is going to have to do a lot of work to carry this game with the draft that they have. Game state, they have a lead right now, 300 gold. It's Chovy who has most of it, unsurprising to anyone, with the CS advantage over this Annie in the mid lane. But he's going to be the real late game damage threat as...
Bear?
Yes.
Very frustrating. Chovy just going to clear out the wave, though, as now combo onto Kellen. Curtain call just right in front of Taeun, who gets wild growthed and does dash out of the way here. Now Ruler in a bit of trouble, but down comes the monkey. And Taeun does have flash. Might have to use it. Does use the barrier first, then flashes in order to avoid being stunned up. That would have been his death. But now Gen G have 3 summoner spells, and BNK have 1.
That was a pretty elaborate bait there by Ruler and Duro, but it does pay off. And not only are they going to deny a lot of farm here, they are going to pick up some plates as well. At least one will go over to Ruler, as these delayed backs will finally come through, but it is a lot of lost farm here. And Ruler picks up a 250 gold advantage as a result of all of this. So, bit aggressive there from Taeun and Kellen. I think realizing, okay, we can win this fight in the 2v2, but perhaps forgetting that there was no Canyon showing on the Raptors their jungler was taking. Their jungler wasn't there. And so it was a little bit of a risky play to continue to try to fight there.
Yeah, Keane still waiting out his summoner spell timers, as Clear is just kind of doing what he wants here in this lane. Keane should be able to even out the CS numbers with this wave crashing on forward, or at least get relatively close. But that is not really what you want to be doing as the Vayne.
A lot of the time with Vayne comps, you have 3 true carries. I'm not saying Jin can't do damage, but, you know, it's a little bit tougher for him in this game. But if you do just kind of exist on Vayne and don't actually get tempo, and the Rise doesn't have 3 items for a long time, I still like the position here for BNK, even though they are behind on gold, and this situation for Taeun is not great now. He is just going to do so much more damage on 2 items when we reach that mid game.
Yeah, and their composition's kind of real as well, which is a problem. When you've got Vayne top, like, you don't have frontline really to play around outside of the jungler.
Exactly. So when Taeun gets the setup, which there's a lot of in this draft, and he just explodes someone, the other 2 carry, like, if let's just say, for example, Chovy gets caught and blown up and dies, it's like a Jin and a Vayne that's not ahead is the follow-up there, and they're just not going to be able to compete necessarily. As it would have been much better for Gen G if the Vayne was further ahead. He is trying to get that gold lead back right now. But it is Gen G versus BNK. We have to remember that Gen G does kind of do all of the good things in League of Legends, and sometimes even with drafts that we're not sure about, just pull rabbits out of their hats. And it is Chovy who's the one who has the most agency to carry this game. Yep. And what we saw last game from him was a pentakill.
Yeah, he was on pretty good form here today. Obviously, Chovy waking up on the right side of the bed. Or the left, but the correct one. As Raptor moves down towards the bottom side just to poke his head in, but not going to find a paranoia angle. We'll find a control ward to take down here, as Ruler does now have his Ghost Blade.
Yeah, I knew you were going to mention it.
If I see a Serpent's Fang, I'm going to be upset. Ghost Blade by itself goes fine. There's now an exhaust, an all-in angle here for Keane, as he looks to get on top of Clear. Silver Bolt should be able to do it after the tumble. There it is, solo kill for the Vayne, and Keane really coming online.
Well, that was a bit of a misplay there from Clear, and they had no prio as well, so there was no way to bail him out. Like Chovy,
and they saw Raptor, right? They see Raptor, and then Keane's like, "Oh, it's my time."
He's like, "It's done, baby." And then you could see Chovy was like threatening a realm warp just in case anything went awry up there, but it just did not. And that was the end of the Gnar stability here for BNK, and it's just like that that all of the questions we had for this composition start to fall by the wayside, and Gen G pick up a huge lead. As Clear whiffs this,
no.
Keane's in the brush, and he has positional advantage plus exhaust. He's like, I think I got him.
Yeah, and look at just how little he had to do.
Yeah.
Felt like Clear was trying to do so many things. None of it worked.
The way that Keane said that looked like he was responding to Chovy asking if he needed a realm warp up. He's like, I think I got him. Like,
yeah.
Just go back to mid. This is a done deal. And it was. So he didn't even need to flash for it. So now he has flash advantage over this Gnar as well.
Oh dear. And that exhaust should be up relatively soon as well. So now you've got Keane sort of dancing around this top lane, almost equalizing that CS margin from that earlier gank that Raptor had put on through. And now with a close to 400 gold advantage, this Vayne is going to be a huge issue. Canyon also with his Trinity Force now done, as the race for our junglers to get scaling is continuing. Do have Hexplate done here for Raptor as well, but we haven't really seen a Paranoia for a while, as he is just lurking in this bottom lane on top of a ward.
Yeah, I think that they just want to make sure they get Double Dragon no matter what in this game, and I think they will be rewarded for that priority.
I believe so. Chovy is going to get attacked here, but I don't know about this one. There is the flash for the Pop Blossom, and there was a Lulu, I swear. But not anymore. Kellen, yeah, okay. Well, we will have a re-engage. Vikla throws down a bear, and there is Raptor going on in with the Paranoia as well. So it's a 1-for-1 in the end, as Canyon is going to get taken out.
I mean, that's the jungler, so that's Dragon denied, at least initially here, in the 1-for-1. So absolutely a win for B&K. The way it went down was quite bizarre, but do end up having a little bit back here as Keane, even with that ward in the brush, he is not afraid of the mini Gnar.
No. And Clear is going to have to respect, as Chovy moving on down. Vikla is able to use Tibbers to block a little bit here. Not going to get queued quite as much, but Chovy, you know what he has on his mind? 50 gold. There it is.
Chovy's always got the gold on the mind. Doesn't really care about that Malignance damage. As I think in that fight too, Vikla's Tibbers didn't stun. It was just a little bit of extra damage. That could have been a difference maker if he had the stun with it. We'll watch again. As initially, it's a bit greedy the way Taeyun is pushing into this Rise right now, but he flashes instantly, and he thinks maybe they can turn this around with Paranoia, but they don't have the numbers game, and the Annie just isn't there.
Oh, he does have stun.
Okay, he does stun.
And it's just onto
Annie. One. Yeah.
And then he dies. So it
was
could
worth
have not
it. Just
been
wasn't
a stun.
Yeah, it was. It was a opportunity maybe perhaps to flash and hit multiple more targets. Is what I thought was. That's what I was thinking of in that moment. But did end up stunning Canyon and kills him before he can flash or react. So definitely worth.
Oh dear. Now Keane does have his Hexplate done. 700 gold in the lead as the dust has settled. And Gen G will be able to claim Dragon number 2 as well. So double Dragon into an Infernal Soul. Yeah, that feels pretty good. Jin also does tend to make the Infernal Soul work for him as well, as he does have a BF Sword also on top of that Ghostblade, building towards some fun items after the utility. And now Chovy looking for a rotation down. Paranoia does come in. That's going to secure Shelly as, oh dear, Canyon just dead before anything's really started. Vikla taking a lot of damage. Vituro in trouble as well. Clear trying to get that Narbar built up as now Taeyun dashing around, but Chovy is going to be able to find him, and there's a crush over the wall to get Clear out of here. Ruler is dead, though, as Raptor was able to hunt him down at the same time. So 3 dead on either side.
Chovy?
As Flash out of the way from Chovy does find the Rune Prison there, as well as Clear needs to try and figure out these ultimate placements, as he has missed a couple in a row now.
Ooh, this is trap. Actually, it's kind of scary. He's going to be fine, but surely he's going to be fine.
Fast as the mini Gnar, as Chovy doesn't have Flash, so just used that previously. So not going to be able to get on top of the mini Gnar. But still, 3 for 3. If you are falling behind, you're feeling pretty good about that if you're being.
Yeah, the initial fight here is pretty rough for Gen G, as this is the timing I'm talking about early on in the game where the Rise doesn't do as much damage yet as he would like to, but he is 3 levels up on Taeyun, and Taeyun ends up losing his Wild Growth here eventually, and this exhaust is so massive because it allows Chovy to do the damage and secure that kill. If he actually is able to push away and escape and then collapse onto Ruler, then maybe there's actually a real follow-up in this fight here. Fortunately, the Gnar does whiff there from Clear, as you pointed out. And so that is the end of it. He does escape barely. 3 for 3, but Herald in tow. Raptor will be able to utilize that here to potentially take the first turret. His Ruler may be dead.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. He is able to survive just barely. It was almost Pix that finished him off. But yeah, can't be walking up like that.
It's very difficult to out-damage the Yunara in these types of trades in the mid lane. He will have to leave, and so it's more money over to Taeyun here in the mid lane, and some more farm denied to Ruler as well. The Herald is almost enough to grab this first turret. Don't have a huge wave though, so they're just gonna have to settle for plates, but plates they will get.
Yeah, decent amount, and they do have 3 grubs here at the same time, so this turret, not long for the world. Speaking of turrets not long for the world, Keane is going to move down towards his bottom lane, does get himself the award as Clear looks to try and get back underneath this turret to teleport in. A full commitment as there are still minions up and available here as Canyon once again in a little bit of trouble. He is able to walk his way out of here, but Clear, he's not going to be able to do so. It is Chovy that locks down that kill, as now Ruler in a lot of trouble yet again. This guy is just taking damage and going home. That's kind of his job today.
Well, you know, I feel like this is a fairly even trade if they can get the mid turret. They have a cannon wave here, and with Ruler being so low, I think they should be able to get it. Realm Warp, though.
Yeah, Taeyun gonna have to respect that one as Chovy and Canyon make their way in. Wild Growth is gonna be the response to the Cyclone, and guess what? It is not enough, as Tib is also gonna get knocked up with the second activation. Keane, with a bit of extra time, is gonna be able to take another plate and then head on back, and Gen G will extend that lead by about 500 just with that resulting play.
I think maybe just tracking wrong that Canyon, whether he had the Cyclone or not, because I think if the Realm Warp sends the Wukong in there, you're never going to get that plate, or rather the turret. They were really greeting for it. This all starts off with a cheeky teleport here. They were like, all right, let's trick Keane, because he's up 2 levels, right? He's going to look for this, but Annie will show up. But then they run into Canyon. Canyon does not Cyclone Vikla. He actually does not. He runs away and doesn't use it defensively, so he actually has it when the Realm Warp follow-up happens. Still, in this replay, not sure exactly what happened to Ruler, but it looks like he just got chunked out in the mid lane. As in live, we have a fight as well.
Oh dear, Clear is just not allowed to have a good time in this game. Isna is being hunted down.
Could have played Cassante.
Yeah, could have, and probably would have suffered the same fate.
Honestly, wouldn't have been that great either.
It's all right, Taeyun is just going to be able to shove this in. This turret, still very low. That has not changed. These ones don't regen. But not going to be able to get any space in order to head on over and collect it. Ruler has the very sad slingshot in his inventory.
It is very sad.
Very sad. 2 items are done here, though, for the Yunara. Pretty scary at this point. Now Keane getting a bit of his own medicine here as the bear does come down, and he is very dead. That is a kill going over to Clear, and they might even be able to get this
Paranoia as well.
Gen G looking for an angle to try and take this one as Taeyun doing a lot of damage towards Chovy, but he's going to take a lot in response. Big shield does come on through as now Raptor is just dead. The Paranoia was available, Wolf, but maybe it shouldn't have been pressed.
Yeah, maybe not in that angle, as they do end up losing their Nocturne here. The turret, a little bit tough to actually secure here, though, for Gen G as the wave is cleared by Clear, but Vikla is pushing that top inner and is getting a decent amount of work done to it. I think we'll get that first plate.
Ooh, Cinders. Oh dear, Vikla picks up turret aggro. He's very dead.
Okay, well that could have been something, but it ended up being something for Gen G.
I was going to say, it was something, Wolf. It's just, it's going in the other column.
It is definitely going in the, this is not going to be a 6-game day column.
Oh no, could still be a 5-game day. Come on, KRX.
I mean, it could still be a 6-game day. It's just not in the column. That play there is.
Oh, right, yeah.
Taeyun, he really wants to put this pressure on and grab that turret, but it's down to like 10 health, and
I feel like
risking his life for it.
I feel like what I was talking about before is really happening, as Taeyun is just playing hyper aggressive, and ignoring the game state entirely. And they're not that far behind.
Yeah, no, it's...
but there just feels like he's going in every time.
But I think in this game, into the Jhin, you kind of are supposed to, because you need to be able, the carry, you need to that's hitting these mid-game strides that we talked about in the draft. And it started off okay for him, but it's, you know, it's fights like these where you're really pushing in and it's not really the timing. Like, look at how much damage he takes. This forces a huge reaction. Kellen has to get in front. And then the Nocturne ultimate here could have just been used as a disengage, but he wanted to follow up, and it was not the right call. And Vikla here picks up turret aggro, but I think he was dead no matter what, as that got a little bit weird. They do end up getting Infernal Soul Point. By the way, back-to-back Infernals here potentially for Gen G. If they get this soul twice in this series would be pretty insane.
And it's also a really hot day here today. This is the first hot day that we've had. Went for a walk earlier on, and I was like, my God, summer should not be here yet.
Same. I almost turned on the aircon in my house.
Yep.
I was like, that's not allowed before June.
Yeah, exactly. The hotels don't turn their ACs on. It's like you can request it and they never let you.
Yeah, you got to use the box fan for now, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
We're still in box fan season. Was it clear?
He's going to find an R on to Chovy, who flashes out of the way of the wallop, and that means there is just no way to follow him as he takes the realm warp to get himself out. No
I think this is
there.
a pretty good, big win for B&K, though. They want to try to use this to put pressure on in the jungle.
That was a little bit sad. Canyon just comes on over and ignores all of their hard work.
Still, a lot of pressure here applied by B&K. Can maybe try to turn this into a play in the mid lane. Vikla is the target, though.
Yeah, Paranoia does come in as Raptor does force Ruler to cancel his ultimate.
All right, I think all that tempo was kind of lost now. As Ruler's ultimate not that important in the grand scheme of things right now to deny this Baron. It's more about getting Canyon's ultimate. If they had gotten his, it would have felt much better. Randuin's done here for the Gnar. That's going to be a pretty big spike for him in this matchup and also just in general in this game.
Oh, there is Vikla possibly being caught out. Does find the stun onto Canyon. Who has Merc Treads, but it's not going to be enough to get him back on top of the Annie.
That's that big ultimate I was talking about. Still no answer, though, for this Vayne. And Genji just out-macroing them right now. And now they have an extra turret down for upcoming Baron fights. And if B&K can't force a fight here before that Cyclone comes up, the Cyclone being down just doesn't matter. As they are going to get this scuttle here and clear some vision, but I don't think Genji they don't trust that they're going to be starting Baron anytime soon. And they're right.
Yeah, Raptor will have his Paranoia up pretty soon, so maybe that window is what they want to go for, right? When Raptor gets this in 8 seconds time.
And Canyon still doesn't have his,
yeah.
They
can commit to something. But in 2 minutes is when the next Drake is. That's going to be Infernal Soul Point. Sorry, that's going to be Infernal Soul for Gen G if they're able to pick it up.
Yes.
And there will be a Cyclone for that. All of the buttons will be available
Without
for that.
IE, they just, I feel, are too timid to take Baron as Keane.
It is the final hour for Vikla, as Keane is going to be able to cleanse himself as he picks up the solo onto Vikla. Now Raptor looking for the angle as Silver Bolts just doing so much damage, 50 gold. And now Clear is looking to come in and punish the Vayne. Should be able to do so, but I feel like his work here is done as Chovy splitting on the bottom side will be able to get some reasonable damage towards this inner turret.
Keane uses both summoners. Vikla, though, without Flash, is a little bit less powerful on this Annie for a potential soul fight here. They want to deny that from Genji. Chovy also gets some alone time down here. And Canyon Cyclone's back up, so I think this is a really good proactive play by Keane and Genji. Gonna slow the tempo down for B&K. Yes, gold-wise, you know, they gave a lot of gold over this Yunara, which is very problematic because she's getting very close to that third item. IE, in fact, might have it right now. But I do think that what they do here with this is prevent any sort of Baron take or turn in that timing you were talking about with the Paranoia advantage. Paranoia is used to help come over here and try to take Keane out, who blows up.
Yeah.
Annie, that was crazy.
Yeah, he actually flashed thinking he didn't have enough damage. And I think if he hadn't have flashed, he might have been able to escape. But as it turns out, was just trying to guarantee that that kill did come through. The QSS buy actually genius here for Keane as well, to make sure that if he is going to try and kill the Annie, he's just not going to get stunned.
Look at the build from Chovy. He didn't go for Actualizer 30, super safe, but I am kind of worried that the Yunara damage might be too big here at this point with IE done. B&K have Prio as well. I think Genji might want to opt out of this one. Duro looking for a flank angle, though, leading me to believe they have other plans.
The pincer maneuver is beginning as they look for Canyon, don't find the majority of the damage on him, as now Pop Blossom makes his way forward. Taeyeon is still going to get stunned up as a Cyclone gets right on top of the Yunara, and that is the solution. You just kill him. Vayne is able to get on in there and make things happen as well, as Keane is just tumbling around the battlefield. We'll be able to pick up absolutely everyone, and Genji lose interest in any sort of fight in this area, and they're going to go over to the Baron.
Yeah. Well, that, I think, was the game-winning moment for Genji.
They take the soul as well, Wolf?
Yep. Okay, so watch Vikla and Clear here. I'm not sure what the game plan is at this point, while Taeyeon is also trying to do the dragon. I think if you stay in formation, this is so much more difficult to pull off. They get on top and get the root, you get the knock-up here, and the follow-up damage is there. Clear's trying to peel, but they were so far split, and for some reason, you know, Vikla was just dropping his stun before the fight even started. They had no idea where Duro was. It was just a really haphazard dragon setup. Just because you're there first doesn't mean you have it secured. And they
I
were
have to
pushing
say,
the wrong side.
it was a pretty phenomenal pincer, though. We've seen like a few of these sort of attempted collapses from teams just not really work because the coordination needs to be incredibly crisp if you're not just going to get turned on and then killed one by one. But they made sure that that engage happened from every angle at exactly the same time. And it was beautifully done. Like, this composition is hard to play, right? Because you don't have a frontline to play around. You have to play around specific moments of CC.
And you have to get the right targets. Your target selection has to be great. They were able to kill specifically the prio target in Taeyun. If he lives for even just 1 or 2 more seconds there with his Glutinous Greaves, like, the fight is a wash, but they were able to get him down. They did it incredibly well. The target selection, or not the target selection rather, but the follow-up speed was so great. Chovy didn't even have to flash to actually get in there and help take him out.
There is a cheeky minion looking to be annoying. Is all right, they're going to go on to Keane here, but he gets towards the turret. Raptor is likely to be almost just straight up dead. Does manage to survive, but Canyon and Ruler, alongside Duro, are just going to push in this inhibitor turret. Gen G able to defend in the mid lane. Crystalline Overgrowth is still there. They couldn't auto it once. And they're going to lose an inhibitor turret. I mean, honestly, that was the death blow right around that Drake pit. But it is looking even more doomed than I was expecting as a result.
They're just grasping at straws. Again, Gen G, not a team known to make big mistakes. And I feel like we haven't said the words ruler spot in a while. It's going to be a TP here from Chovy. He has Realm Warp. This might just be the push to end, honestly.
Yeah, they're going to take down the inhibitor at least as Vikla on a flank angle. Keane is going to be distracted by a control ward for a few moments as now Duro, where did he come from? He was under the enemy nexus as Kellen is just dead. Raptor in a lot of trouble as Vikla, the world's shortest teleport, gets him to the fight, but maybe a little bit too late as the curtains are being called very realistically here for BNK FearX as Vikla looks for a, an attempt at something. And wow, where did the Inara go?
Death Chamber, Vikla's going to join her.
Yeah, there is the exhaust as well. And it looked like an exhausting series, to be perfectly honest. BNK FearX will at least be able to leave it relatively quickly, but unfortunately for them, not with a W, as Clear will not be tricked by the Wukong and is just going to get taken down before the celebrations are going to finish here. And Gen G finish off the Nexus. That was a devastating 2-0. But one thing that is very cool.
If they win it, right, can they find consistency? Right now, they look so good.
No mild opponent. We're going to have a listen to them taking down these inhibitor turrets and all of BNK at the same time. I still don't know how Duro got there. He just went for a wander, I guess. Pretended to be a minion and snuck on by.
Crazy stuff. And they're just talking about making sure the waves are set up properly to end.
Yep.
As Taeyun here gets caught and blown up. Chovy having a phenomenal series.
And
Vikla
Vikla has no flash.
Yeah. Get him. And Clear also no flash. So it sounded like maybe the comms were ahead there of the actual gameplay, as he said it a little bit after he had flashed.
Yeah.
Or rather, before he had flashed, excuse me.
I like that Canyon was looking a little sheepish after his little attempted trick didn't work. But the Nexus does go down in the end.
Uncharacteristically weak game from Raptor, I feel, in terms of his ultimates. They just couldn't get the tempo back, and he was super desperate with some of his second presses of his R button to go in.
Yeah.
And Taeyun, I think, had a pretty good game, all things considered, but was always going to be the target. And we fall behind against Gen G. See where the gold graph starts to go.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened. And honestly, things were pretty close for the majority. And you can see exactly where that dragon fight happened. And then the game was over.
700 palm points.
This man is doing it again. As far as like POGs, POMs, I don't think anyone is anywhere near close to the amount of total points that Chovy has collected. He is now 200 ahead of the next place, which is Zeka, who is by himself, Teddy at 400.
The only other person who's like had these types of streaks is Canyon.
Yeah.
But Canyon's on the same team as him now, so you just
Ruined.
can't get him anymore.
Yeah.
He gets